the final 5-10 minutes, what I just wanted to quickly just outline is that we do have other templates. So other project templates can be available here. So for example, if you're doing an RLE1 form or a field risk map, you can use those templates to create those things. But just to quickly touch on two other templates that I do fundamentally believe are going to be important in the next 12-15 months are the baseline habitat assessment and the land management plan. So they use exactly the same structure as what we've just discussed, where one of them is understanding what you're currently doing. We use BPS. This we use another language called the UK habitat classification. And as a note, that's the same language for which the biodiversity 3.0 metric, so the biodiversity units, is calculated on. So understanding what your current habitats are, but that includes where your cropped areas are and your uncropped areas in the language of UK Hab is going to be important as we move forward. And then in a similar vein to what the countryside stewardship was, is that there's a land management plan template, which is also using UK Habitat as a language, but it allows you to have a bit more free form in designing those future schemes. So within there, you're not restricted to just countryside stewardship schemes. You can basically draw on where you want to do any habitat creation or infrastructure changes. So where do you want to put solar panels, for example, or wind turbines? All of those have got a code within the UK Hab. And it's a language that is consistent across the whole country. So every square inch of the United Kingdom can receive a UK Habitat code. We're not, during this module, going to explore UK Hab in any great detail. However, if people are interested in learning more about UK Hab, either the basic principles or the more detailed application of UK Hab, we are in partnership with UK Hab Limited, going to be running some training sessions in early 2022, and Land Management 2.0 will circulate any information about those as and when that comes out. The great thing about getting your farm digitized means that you can collaborate really quickly. So I showed you how to collaborate on your private map with an ecologist or a land agent, for example, but also what we can allow you to do is collaborate with your neighbors at a landscape level. So we have got the technology to allow you to give permission to share that map in this spatial view. So actually in this view, for example, there's 15 farms. What they can do is you can put their baselines next to each other, so you can work out how connected is the landscape currently, but also you can put their land management plans next to one another and work out if those plans are connected as well. So for example, if you're doing a stewardship, and if you're an advisor doing 3 stewardships all neighboring one another, if you can actually have a view of how those stewardships interact with one another, you can actually make better decisions. You can work out, is that wildflower margin connecting across that landscape? Is there an area where I should be focusing on connectivity? Because habitats in isolation do not have as much ecological impact as habitats that connect. What we're fundamentally trying to get to is a point where every farm within the UK has a clear baseline. So they have a clear understanding of what they're currently delivering, and they have a clear understanding of what their future land management plan looks like. So once you've done those scenarios and you've worked out whether you're going down the regen ag route or you're going in another direction, have you got a plan that articulates that? Because that plan fundamentally makes up what your funding streams will be in the future. The schemes look like, the schemes are looking more and more like that you get paid for the uplift of moving from your baseline to your land management plan. And you get paid to insert that margin, you get paid to create that new habitat, you get paid to try cover cropping. And therefore it's really important that we focus our efforts on getting a digital copy of those 2 data layers. So in this diagram, what we're trying to represent though is if we're smart and if government can really catalyze this, if everyone just has one land management plan, and land management plan A that say feeds into the sustainable farm incentive or countryside stewardship or whatever the public scheme for individual farms called, that same management plan, if done right, could also fit into a group setting, around that connectivity and a group application to your local nature recovery strategies and your landscape restoration strategies. Or, as we've mentioned quite a few times during this module, your carbon, your offsetting, your biodiversity, your blended finance pieces, your flood mitigation. So actually what we really want to do is empower people to make a great land management plan, but that land management plan is going to form this, and underpin all these different funding mechanisms you may have to hopefully move into a more sustainable future. So that's the end of the talk. Thank you so much.